So I have a quick preamble. And I'm going to talk about something here that I've said before, gone over this before, but I guess, we have to keep repeating ourselves until all ears have heard the message. I mean, sometimes when things come your way, you kind of wash it off. We many times we hear the first thing, which don't sound like what we're used to. We many times kind of put it off. But here, what I'm about to share with you, it's something that I've shared before, but I feel like it's worth sharing again in terms of my message. But the video I'm about to play, if it doesn't concern you, then you probably are a part of this problem that we have as Africans. I'm gonna go ahead and play this video. It's actually three of them, but the quick, short ones. I think 2, 3 minutes long. But you need to see this in your own eyes and out of your own brain kind of conceive of what really is happening, because at this point it's almost to me, I'm sure that there is something wrong, man. Something wrong, and we have to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like at this point, when you see what I'm seeing, it should worry you. If it doesn't worry you, I don't know what world we're in. It's worrying me. I watched this and I was like, what is happening really here? All right, let me play it. Watch.
Madina anataka kufanyikiwa.
Ngoja zunguka.
Na mimi ni bingwa nitazunguka.
Unazunguka. Haya basi zunguka kwanza. Zunguka. Unafika wapi na wapi?
Mimi.
Hey, mimi na wacha washikane, songa kidogo. Ngoja, songeni nyuma. Songa nyuma hawa. Songa nyuma. Imeshikana. Ndio, watu. Haya, ndio ule. Wengine watatu ule. Ingia kazi. Ingia kazi bwana. Ingia kazi. Kazi. Hey, mwingine ingia kazi hapa. Wacha story zako. Ingia kazi hapa. Ingia kazi. Ingieni kazi hapa. Ingia kazi hapa. Ingia. Hey, my God. Mwingine yuko hapa. Ingia kazi. Ingia kazi. Soka nyuma waingie. Ingia. Ingia kazi. Ingia kazi. Ingia kazi. Ingia kazi. Wacha ingie. Toka kwa ingia kazini hapa. Enda chini. Soka nyuma nyinyi. Soka nyuma. Mwingine yuko hapa ingie. Kuja ingia kazi. Ingia kwa shimo. Ingia shimo. Ingia shimo. Ingia kwa shimo. Ingia kwa shimo. Ingia kwa shimo. Ingia. Ah! Ingia kwa. Ndio huyo. Funga mdomo. Ingia kwa shimo. Mwingine yuko hapa kuja. Kuja mara moja. Kuja ingia kwa shimo. Kuja ingia kwa shimo. Ingia kwa shimo. Pigana na huyo. Pigana na yeye. Ngoja tuone. Ngoja. Gai mwadhani. Sijaona kama hii. Sijaona. Haya.
Wewe.
Enda kwa mwenzako huko.
Wewe.
Haya, huyu ni komanda wao.
Wewe.
Fuata ule. Wale. 1, 2, 3. Gai. Chini. Hey, my God. Jesus!
So I have to ask you, that right there doesn't concern you? That right there doesn't bother you? That right there, it doesn't worry you or just make you wonder what is really happening? Oh, I didn't give a precise good preamble. What's happening here? This is inside a church in Kenya, my home. What you're seeing here, in my eyes, and I know this. I don't know to what degree, but I have some certainty here that these are actors, right? I know this. I'm talking about the people in front. of the church congregation, the actors who are acting like they're zombies. So I mean, maybe they're zombies really, but I do recognize they're acting. This is an act. What bothers me though is this person who is I guess, the messenger from God, I guess the speaker from God, I guess the lawyer, calling himself a preacher. What he's done is he has captivated and enslaved the actors, and the actors probably, I don't know if they get a cut of the tithes and whatever the preachers collecting from this church. I don't know how much they get paid. I do know that they're acting. We all know that. And plus, now what these preachers done also is to insinuate it's got some powers. I mean, technically, it's got some superpowers in this act. Notice how he said, "Wow!" I don't know what he said, and all of them went down because in their act, this is how they were supposed to act. Unless, of course, you believe that idiot preacher has got powers. If you believe he has powers, then you have a problem because you done missed out what science says about superpowers. There's no tested or anything that shows there's some superpower anywhere. We haven't seen one. We haven't seen miracles. So now I'm hoping you don't believe this preacher has superpowers, and also I'm hoping you are with me on the same page that these guys right here were actors. I'm hoping this is my true hope that you recognize that. I recognize that. We all recognize these are all actors, and he is not alone though. It's why I kept coming to you and I keep telling you. Last time I mentioned this before, some people didn't think it's well, you know what? You come off and you tell people there's something wrong with this belief thing, with this Injili thing, with this religion thing. People don't believe that. They don't want to hear that. They always think it's oh, that guy is lost. You know what I'm saying? How you come out and you just say these people are insane. You go to them, and initially when you meet the first news, it's just like waking up in the morning. You're not ready to see the sun. You're not ready to feel the cold. It's like you reject it. And so when we initially reported that there's something wrong with black people, there's something wrong with us, at that time, in that day, those days when we said there's something wrong, and we pointed out where the religion came from, it was hard to believe that it's a gone game. That religion or this Christianity is a propaganda. It's a propaganda machine to, I guess, capture your mind. And we say that then. Now, come fast forward. You look at this video. What does your brain tell you now? What does it tell you now? To believe in insane stuff like this to a point where an actor is acting in front of you, but you will still go back to the same dummy and the actors. What freaking world are we living in, my friends? I mean, it's time. Look here. I'm just sitting here and I'm looking at this. I'm disgusted. I don't know about you. I'm disgusted. Whenever I see this thing, I'm like, what is wrong with these people, man? And I'm not concerned about the actors. It's just like watching a movie. When I go watch a movie in a movie theater or whatever, when I see that Hollywood or Bollywood or whatever movies, I know these people acting. Some are stupid, some are insane. And at that point, it's all right. Because it's an act, it's a recognized act. The problem with this act here is so many insinuation, outright lies. For a man to lie to you that these actors who you can see in your eyes, they're lying to you. One, they're lying to you. Secondly, it is claiming some superpowers. Third, they are actually genuinely believing there's some place they're going after this. And secondly, that there's a God who's talking to him. You have to let that sink in and think, man. I don't know at what point, at what stage are we going to recognize there's something wrong. Now, and the detachment here is, here's where the problem comes in. Whenever we talk about things like this, our people don't connect it from reality. I mean, in this case, you go every Sunday to listen to another stupid, lying, conniving, corrupt preacher. I mean, the one we just saw here is no different with the one that you see every Sunday. Every time somebody tells you, God told me, and you don't question that, you've become their slave. You have to ask, you have to question these people. And every time you read a book that it was supposedly inspired, and you don't ask, how are these people inspired? Every time you look at that book and you think that book is holy, and I want to know what holy means. We don't even know what is Holy Spirit. Every time you just take it for granted, it's almost like being biased against other people without knowing who they really are. Every time you believe in such stuff, you've become a tool that is being used. So you can look at this video I just shared and think there's something wrong with those people. Oh, no, no. If you can see that there's something wrong with them, then there's something wrong with you, because on Sunday you're going to go to another church wherein a person lies to you, just like this one said, Jesus, and all this falling down, going down like that. It's because he has mastered a way to, I guess, manipulate your mind. And he haunts you now. Because even though you can see the obvious stupid thing, I didn't see the actors alone. I saw, you could hear the cheering, which means he has a congregation of hundreds, if not thousands of people, who, after seeing this stupidity right here, they still went back to that church. And they are no different, my friend, from you going back to that church, which you think is different from this insanity we just showed. No, they're all the same. My friend, I'm telling you, they're all the same. And if you're failing to connect, to see how this failure by us African in connecting in reality, to go in there and pray every Sunday, man, instead of working to connect our resources, to put together our resources, there is no way Africa is going to get better if we continue in this path. While the Chinese is working to produce a phone, a new phone, update a new phone, while other nations are building computers, going to space, and all this other nuclear stuff, you're busy praying. If your own child today, my friend, is not learning science on Sunday, reading that damn book, or going to connect some wires to make a new thing, to create something new, to discover, to adventure. If your child is not going to do that, is not doing that today, what are we doing? What is our children preparing to do tomorrow? We know education is the lifeline, but investment in science is crucial. And if you're going to be fooled like this, how else can you expect your kid to think different when they are being told there's a better place to go after this life? Why would any bother? Why would anybody else bother to do or go anywhere else when there is a better place that we're going after this? And you're letting this person lie to you. You're going to that church tomorrow. You're going to another. I'm begging you to please think. All right, got one more here. Let me share this one.
Many are the times that Christians talk about being born into sin. Is it possible for human beings to be born into sin? Yes. But what does the sin look like? Show me the dumb child. Dumb child? Okay, why is she the dumb child? Because she has black skin. Okay. Show me the bad child. Why is he the bad child? Because he's really dark. Show me the dumb child. Why is she the dumb child? Because she looks black. Show me the good child. Why is she the good child? Because she looks lighter.
What skin color do you want? Do you remember which one you said?
Yeah, that one.
Which one?
This one. Show me the ugly child. And why is she the ugly child? Because she's black. Show me the good looking child. And why is she the good looking child? Because she's light skinned.
I don't know if you saw that. A black kid is pointing at some, well, I don't know that that's a white kid. A white kid as the ugliest, the smartest. And a black kid. No, I don't know if these babies that they were showing here have ever seen the screen. I mean, looked at themselves in the mirror to realize they're black. But they're saying that kid on that picture who looks like me is ugly. And you think that happened by accident? No, it didn't happen by accident. Here's why I keep saying we need to connect these things. If you're going to go to church where you know the Nazarene Jesus could never have been white as an adult, at that latitude or longitude 32%, with the sun hitting that area, there is no way that a person who was born in that Nazarene area, that Palestine area, would be pure white. There's no way. But just like this baby right here, this baby cannot look at that mirror and look at herself or himself and say, I am black and I am beautiful. And therefore I'm gonna praise and worship this picture I see here, which is a reflection of me. No, no, no. The kids couldn't do that because it's the parents who are worshiping something else that was given to them without questioning. So nobody's questioning. That doesn't bother you? My friends, that doesn't bother you? It bothers me. Here's why we're living in different universes. We come to our people, we say it's pure black and white. You can see where the problem is coming from, but they don't want to listen. We come to usually look here, slow down. This is it right here. Here's a problem. It's a connecting thing, man. There's something with us African when we were conquered, when we were colonized. We did not know better, but we know better now. Here we come to you and say, look here, watch that. This is how this thing is going to go. They're tricking you. You don't listen. And you have a kid now, your own babies, dying to look like what they are not. And you can see right there why a baby is preferring or thinks a white baby is cuter and smarter than a black baby that resembles her or him. These kids were brainwashed not by someone else, but by their parents. Because their parents are taking them to a church where there is a statue of a white Jesus. And a kid will grow up looking and expecting to thinking that a white image is the sprightest, the smartest, the cutest image. And when we tell you watch what you feed your babies, watch what you feed your mind, you don't listen. You don't listen. So I come to you one more time. I'm telling you, it's like black and white. You can see this preacher that we saw earlier, and you think there's nothing wrong with that preacher, or there's something wrong with that preacher, but it's no different with the one you're going to see on Sunday. They're all crazy. They're all liars. I'm telling you, you gotta think harder. If a man tells you God spoke to him, if a man tells you he was anointed by who, how, you can't let that go by. You have to start right there. Then you go further and say, if this book was published yesterday, 1555 AD, I'm talking 600 years ago. If that book was published 600 years ago, what happened to our ancestors that were in Africa thousands and millions of years before? What happened to those ones that they didn't read a book? They didn't have no goddamn book, nor the damn friggin' Bible. They didn't know about shit like that. What happened to them? Huh? You can't question that? It's time to question these things so you get to answers. And you who listens to my voice, before you jump and criticize me, before you flip flop and use my words and use the way I speak, before you come forth and point fingers, Why don't you ask yourself these questions? Because there is a disconnect with us Africans to realize these things here that we see right here, these problems we have in Africa is connected. It's got something to do with how we critically think, how we approach, how we deal with these things. And for some reason, we think as African there's a detachment. And we feel that we should, with that our religion or Injili has nothing to do with our everyday life. You think so? You think that Chinese kid who's working today to fix a computer will be on the same level, same page, same speed with an African kid that is busy reading the Bible? Only book in the house is the Bible, and every Sunday going to praise and worship? Do you not see how Japanese are making humongous, big, nice vehicles, and they don't know what the hell is a Jesus? The Chinese that are coming all over Africa, giving us loan and coming in to fix our roads and whatever, and all the infrastructure, they don't know of a Jesus, my friend. And you don't see this a disconnect there. You don't feel detached. We are detached because on one hand we're trying to think there is nothing wrong with this the way we worship. I think that was given to us. And I've heard someone else before say a Chinese is worshiping an image that resembles him or her. A Japanese worship an image that resembles him or her. A European worships a Jesus that resembles him or her. The Middle Eastern, these Palestine, Afghanistan, Iraq people, they worship a Muhammad, a man that resembles him or her. You understand? But it's African. It's this Kenyan man and woman who's worshiping something that doesn't resemble him or her and does not see a problem. And now, when you see your own baby choosing another image different from him or her, and you don't even realize I have planted a bad seed in this kid's mind, and therefore I need to delete the files in my mind and in this baby's mind and put new files. There is a disconnect with us Africans. And so, no matter which politician, which avenue we go, we will always come down back to this issue of critical thinking and disseminating things to figure out where we are in this life. And talking about politician, let me play this last little clip and see what you think.
Take this opportunity to thank the Almighty God. Yes, it is God. I say it is God. Without God, we wouldn't be here. Um,
And right there, my friends, right there, this man who just spoke is a brother to me, of course. This man who just spoke, I think he's a good person, but a very misinformed person. He's the president of a country named Kenya. I love him, just like I love those babies. Yes, I love you and her and myself. I love him, but he is a misinformed, disillusioned person. Why I say that? Because when you saw those babies hating or loving their own, loving someone else other than themselves, it's the same thing with this man right here. This man is a Christian. This man believes there was a Jesus that was born, died, got crucified, and he rose from the dead. This man says he's an agricultural scientist. He has a PhD. This man has failed to question not one single thing in that Bible. And here, in this clip that I just played, he had just been declared the president or the winner. The Supreme Court, I believe, had declared him the winner. But let me give you some numbers, because numbers don't lie. About, and I'm gonna use rough estimate here. He won by only 200,000 votes. What I'm finding out is, what I'm hearing is, he had about 7 million voters who voted for him. His competitor, Mr. Raila, voted. His competitors' voters were 6.8 million. There was 6,800,000 people who said we will not vote for Ruth. And there was 7 million people who said we will not vote for Raila. But this man right here tells the whole nation that God decided to favor 7 million people over the other 6.8 million. He doesn't even know he's splitting the country. Doesn't know. Here's why I keep saying, if you don't realize that religion is breaking down our relationships as Africans, our relationships as Kenyans, there's something wrong with your mind. You've got to connect these things. This man believes, for some reason, that when he won, that was God's doing. I mean, the delusionment that you see right there. He's a man who, for 5 years, went around the country, right? He went around the country campaigning for 5 years. He used funds. He used minions. I've had even some other friends of around me that used to criticize me, because I was like, this man is, there's no way this man is going to lead a nation. He can lead a nation. Maybe he's leading right now, but he's leading the nation in the wrong direction. But he campaigned for 5 years. After all those 5 years, though, guess what? When somehow he won by only 200,000 votes. No, no, no. Forget all these people who voted for him. Forget the donors. Forget the minions who were chasing after us left and right. No, no, no. All credit is unto God. Our God is never met. Our God, it was given. A sweet Jesus who doesn't look like him. No wonder that baby prefers an image of a white kid over a black kid. No wonder you pack your things every Sunday, dress up real good, and go worship some image that was given to you. Should be worshiping a person with melanin like you. And if you're going to want to argue that a Jesus was there, a Jesus died, a Jesus rose, a Jesus was a Messiah, a Jesus is God, if you want to claim that, and you want to say this person was around the Mediterranean Sea, that person, I'm telling my friend, should have some melanin. And that person should have been white, and should have been black. But you don't know. You don't go so far to question that, because now questioning that, because of the fear it's been put on you, is anti-Christian. And therefore, a man walking around, you're chest up, very strong to talk politics, is scared to question things that were given to you. You're scared. You're scared, and I know you, and I know that. So here come my friends, and I'm telling you, I have got to a point where to say, I'm a mind my business. But when you see such clips, such videos, it gets to a point where you say, I've got to speak. Maybe a message like this might touch up kid and change a kid. My mission is to change at least one person, to have one person think. One person is what I'm trying to get to think, to use their brain, so we can spread the word of critical thinking, so we can invest in science, because it's science that will get us through. It's science that we can pull away and from the drama, the dilemma that we've had to go through. I mean, we can look at history, which is the clock that people need to use to tell their political and cultural time of the day. Because if we do that, we can zoom back. And so I come to you and I was like, most importantly though, if we use that history, it can show us some direction about where you still must go and the place you still must be. So we look at history, let's use science. History is a reflection of the past, so we can know where we go in the future, and then invest in science. So we don't teach our kids those, we're finished. If you think that a Jesus will come down tomorrow to change the equation, oh, I'm sorry, my friends, we have a problem. But I'm asking you to please change and think about this.